This meeting is being recorded.
I heard that. So Joe, we're gonna start with a loan update, lender update from Jody. And so Jody, why don't you tell us how happy you are, where you're working, and what's going on in the loan business?
Thank you. Yep. So if you guys, I see a couple of names on here I don't recognize. So welcome. Nice to have you on the call. So yes, I am very happy at Rocket. I've had a really great time last week, getting a tour of Detroit and kind of seeing what Rocket's impact is and has been there in the community. And of course, I don't have $20 billion there. Oh, sorry.
Just a second, let me mute everyone.
I don't have $20 billion.
Let me mute everyone. Hold on. We have now. You're unmute yourself, Jody. We were getting lots of. You think you're unknown? Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. I was just saying that I, got to spend some time there, touring parts of Detroit that Rocket has made a positive impact in the community, buying some buildings and converting to affordable housing, some rentals, some for sale. And it was really inspirational. I told you guys about last week, the big meeting and the home buyer that didn't think she'd ever be able to buy a house, lived in an RV for 6 years with her 2 kids and super cramped for space. Lenders turned her down. She got a letter from Rocket. And 2 weeks later, she had her loan approved and she was able to purchase her first home. And I think what that speaks to me is the, lender that cares, likes to go above and beyond. And we say it's cheesy, I know, but when you see it in action, it really is inspirational. And I saw that in action last week in Detroit, and I was super pumped. So I'm excited to be back. And fortunately, you guys are getting really motivated because I've got 3 this afternoon, even 3 agent calls to co-brand marketing. Had a couple earlier this week. So I'm happy to see you guys are starting to be active in the community. 2024, I said at the very beginning of the year, it's going to be our best year yet, but we got to stay focused, go back to the basics and build our relationships, not only with our clients, but with each other. So with that said, you guys always call me anytime you need anything. Evenings, weekends, highly encouraged. Give you a quick little market update. If you haven't heard yet that mortgage interest rates did go up a little bit. We were about 6.6 beginning of February. And here we are 15 days later, and we're sitting right above 7. Now, that does not mean, please, that does not mean that mortgage interest rates are 7%. You will still absolutely see some rates in the 6s. This is an average of mortgage rates across the entire country, only conforming. No government, not jumbo, none of that. Now, I'll tell you that number because that's the average, just to give you an idea of where rates are going and what they've done so far this year. Now, with that said, yes, rates went up a little bit. Home buyers, our home sales price rose 6.1% year over year. That's pretty awesome. That's a great statistic to keep in the back of your head whenever you're talking with people. And just, interest rates are still high. I'm just going to wait. Well, if the median U.S. home price went up 6.1%, that's 6.1% in appreciation. Now, it can be more or less given whatever area you're in and what community you serve, but that's a good sign, right? That's what we want to see. I think that buyers are starting to understand that this just might be the new normal for mortgage rates. I know 7% was a hard pill to swallow, but in the 6s, 5s and 6s, really the 5s is where I want to see the 30-year, but these are not astronomical rates now where, can be in the mid 6s, do some temporary buy downs. You want to be a hero and get your borrower, 3.5% for the first year. These temporary buy downs, I talked to a lot of you guys, and there is, in my opinion, significant pushback on it because you think the seller's not going to go for it. But I think it's something that we should definitely explore. I'm happy to talk with a listing agent, explain how this works and all that, because it's only going to benefit your buyer. So stay positive. Don't panic about interest rates. Nose to the grind. Let's get it done. I'm happy to talk with you guys, do some co-branded stuff, homebuyer seminar, Zoom, evenings, weekends, whenever you want. I'm always here for you. Have a wonderful day, and you've got my name and number. And if you don't yet, I'll put it in the chat, and give me a call anytime. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. That means I have to have my act together, I guess. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, well, there's a couple of things. Marketing, and I'm working on getting something to work. So let me just see, share my screen. Is that working? Let's just see. Okay, cool. You want no. Just give me a second. Not what I wanted. Well, receive a screen. There we go. Now is it working? Well, I wished it was working. It was working earlier, but here we are. Just 1 second. QR code. Hopefully that will make it happy. Open. Oh well. It is the way it is. I can't make it work at this moment. So what I was working on doing was letting you see what's on my phone, but it's just not going to cooperate. And I'm going to give it one more chance. One more chance. And it's not working. So that's so much. It was, you know, they told me I had to upgrade the program. And as soon as I did that, it stopped working. Which of course is, so what was I trying to do, right? Well, what I was working on was getting to let you see what's on my phone, obviously, but this is the program that just stopped working. The thing that I was looking for, and I'm going to either paste that in here. Technology is so useful until it doesn't work. Okay, now that I've got the right. Smooth, huh? I know that's what you're thinking. All right. So what I was working on is something called Instacard. And what Instacard is, it's a digital business card. And I don't think this is going to work super well because just the way, you know, these things are, they say it's not going to let me do this, but I can maybe do this, and I'm going to send it to, I'll send it to Monica or something like that here. I really wanted to be able to show you what this looks like. This. The only one I can make it work easily to is Raw. All right. So I've texted it to Raw under her WhatsApp. And what Instacard, that's what it looks like on my phone. All of that. So what Instacard does is it's a digital business card. It's a National Association of Realtors, California Association of Realtors member benefit. That means you get a free one. However, you can pay to upgrade it. If I were able to use my phone and show you, if I click on the share button here, it will give me a variety of ways of sharing it, including texting it, including emailing it, including producing a great big QR code that somebody could take a picture of. You can put in, as you can see, your Facebook link, Instagram, LinkedIn, I have YouTube, And that's a web page link. And it's notice branded, it's got EXP's logo. It required that I do a little bit of work to do that. But did I mention that this is a free members benefit? And let me send it to everyone. Never upgrade a program right before a class. Don't do that. That's what I learned today. And the reason I'm talking about this is that I get questions from agents a lot about business cards, and although they're sort of a necessary evil, when you join EXP, you're going to get 250 business cards. Back in the day when I joined, it was 1,000. But I also have 950 of them probably left. I just do. And so rather than, and even before we were, using things like Instacart, even before that, if somebody came up to me and said, and we were talking and they say, hey, do you have a business card? What I would do is say, oh no, I'm all out of cards. It's been a really busy day. Why don't you let me just text you my contact information, which, by the way, you could do in either an iPhone or an Android phone simply by creating a contact. I know you're probably already in it, but a contact that's your real estate agent contact. And you would need some designation like the word realtor so you can pick it out among the others. You need to put in your DRE number. You can put in your phone number. You get the idea. It's a contact. And then you would say to somebody, well, look, why don't I just text you my information? Now, business cards in the, little pieces of paper kind of business cards were originally introduced in China in about the 1300s. They became very big in England and Europe in the 17 and 1800s. Big, I mean that, few people had them, but the butler would come in with the silver tray and a business card to present to somebody. But it's 2024. How many of you have a collection of business cards you keep someplace in your house? Maybe a wall, right, with a bunch of, corkboard on it where you can, put up the business cards that you've collected and go and browse them sometime. Anybody have something like that? Maybe a box, right, where you stuff business cards in that you go through the box and read it just to see, what they look like. Most of the time they get thrown away. And our goal is really not to give them a piece of paper that they can lose, but to get our contact information on their phone. And at the same time, their phone number in our phone. And there's what was it called? Hey, something or other. There's a bunch of them. If you Google search digital business cards, you're going to find that there's a bunch of them. I kind of like this one. Is this the same as this? I don't know what the Savvy card is. I hold binder. I don't know if Monica's cursing at me, but but anyhow, there's a lot of them. This one is a free California Association of Realtors benefit. Now, the company that does this, which isn't really it's called Real Grader, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about this, but what Real Grader does, and notice it says here, you can claim your free digital card and audit. Ooh, that doesn't sound like fun. What do they mean by audit? And what they mean is they're going to do an audit of your online presence. So for example, have you created a Zillow profile? Have you created a Realtor.com profile? Have you created a Homes.com profile? Are you on LinkedIn and Instagram, etc.? And do you have your contact information on all those sites? Because when somebody Google searches you, right, what are they going to find? Well, those are the big sites that are going to come up. And what you would want to do is to make your profile somewhat consistent. For those of you that have been around a little while, you might want to check to see if you have 2 or 3. Because I've seen agents where I search, they have like 2 or 3 LinkedIn profiles, which they created and then forgot and then created another one and apparently forgot and then created another one. Now, do you think that might be a little bit confusing to a potential client that, you seem to not know how to use LinkedIn, right? And they might conclude that if you can't use LinkedIn, you probably can't list a house. A whole binder, I have a whole binder of business cards. That's what you were saying. Yes, how bad? And how often do you look at your business? You read them to your children, right? Your business cards. So it wouldn't hurt to have the audit, but what the audit is going to do is it's going to look at the various websites where you can put your information. By the way, EXP has a website where your information is on it. The multiple listing service has a website where your information is on it. The Board of Realtors you're a member of has a site where your information is on it. My suggestion is that you write some sort of a bio, and that you get all your links together, like for all of the different, social media sites, your website link, all of that sort of stuff. And you go through all the different places where your profile might be and make sure that they all look kind of cool, right? That they all look same branding, logo. And remember, your Department of Real Estate license number is required to be on all first contact solicitations, which include social media. So anyhow, that's what my Instacart looks. It looks, if my phone were working again, you click on it, it opens up, it looks nice, and you can pay to upgrade. And when you upgrade, I forget what it costs, but what will happen then is that you can get contacts and things like that. You can see in the picture a great big QR code that pops up, and you can put reviews if you have any. And then if you're paying them, they'll give you a score for your, I guess the score for the audit is also free, but they would like you to pay them. This company, Real Grader, is somebody that I've been following. They oftentimes appear with a company called Breakthrough Broker, which I've shared some stuff in the past. We'll talk about that. That was idea number one. All right. Now, what I'm also going to do, just to make this here, I'm going to take all the links that I'm talking about, and I'm going to just say today's team meeting links, and I'm going to paste them in and post on the workplace chat, my workplace group in a post. Easy for me to say.
Are you all going to have time to have dinner?
No, not tonight, honey. Maybe next time. I don't think that was meant for me, but I never pass up a free dinner. So if you're, you might want to mute yourself. What I'm going to do is mute everybody, because I have a feeling I wasn't being invited to dinner for real, but you never know. So what have I been doing? Well, I also posted this, which is from the California Association of Realtors. And they survey real estate agents and they report on it. I'm going to show you where there's some market information that's about to come out. That's just a post about the general channel training we do. And then what happened to that other post? That's really weird. Really, really weird, because I know I posted something else. I know I did. It's just been pinned posts for, I don't want to pin post, but that home prices declined, changing landscape, lender market, what's happening? Well, it's not there. This has been a tech issue for me, I guess, today. So let's, what I'm going to do is show you what it was that I was trying to do. And I'm going to start with copying a couple things. I know, okay, let me just pull this down. And And I'll show you how I created this. But I know I posted it and it was there, but it's not there right now. All right. I just don't know what happened. All right. That isn't really what I wanted, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to, okay. I really wish the thing I did earlier was still there. But if anybody could look at the workplace group, I think some people are on it. I posted something about the spring market. And there was a video and other things which I just don't see right now. But I just don't see it. And I don't know. I just posted this one, but a comment, it was right before that. But Rachel's is new posts. Maybe these are other posts that have come since I posted. No, it's just not there. So, all right. So what it might be more important to see what I did, but what I did is I wrote an article about the spring 2024 housing market called The Season of Opportunities. It actually said something else, but it apparently didn't stick when I uploaded it to Workplace. It's been one of those days. But what I added to it was a video that looks like this. And it may have been the video. Was that video already there someplace? I don't know. See, now the video is taking away the I just don't see it. You see it. Where is it, Ian? What is it? Can you I don't know why I can't find it.
So when I go to the Michael Devlin group, and then
Here, this
it's just
is
right on the feed.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's all right. Thank you very much. It's difficult to sit and talk and use my computer at the same time. So this is something that I wrote and I posted it on the Workplace group. Notice the nice little picture, right? Detailed mortgage and affordability insights, mortgage trends, affordability index, talking about inventory and home prices, refinancing, market inventory. There's a conclusion and there's a video. And if you
mortgage rates have been on a downward trend, making home purchases more affordable than ever. This is a welcome change, especially for those looking to step onto the property ladder for the first time. Secondly, there's been a gradual increase in housing inventory. More houses on the market mean more opportunities for buyers. But what does this mean for home prices? Well, a higher inventory typically leads to a stabilization of prices, giving buyers a chance to breathe and make informed decisions rather than rushing into purchases due to a lack of options. Now, for those of you who already own homes, there's good news as well. Opportunities for refinancing have become more abundant. Refinancing can be a great strategy to lower your monthly payments, free up cash for other necessities, or even fund a home improvement project. And if you're wondering about the overall market activity, it's been nothing short of vibrant. The spring real estate market of 2024 is bustling with activity, indicating a healthy and optimistic outlook for the rest of the year. So, what does the future hold? Well, projections suggest a stable and sustainable housing market. The key, however, lies in strategic planning and informed decision-making. Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or an investor, understanding these trends and how they can work to your advantage is crucial. To recap, this spring brings an optimistic outlook for the housing market. Improved mortgage rates enhance home affordability, increased inventory stabilizes home prices, opportunities for refinancing abound, and the market activity is robust. Looking ahead, the long-term projections suggest a steady and sustainable market, Remember, armed with the right knowledge and strategic planning, navigating the housing market can be a rewarding journey. So here's to a vibrant spring in the housing market and to making informed strategic decisions that will shape the future of our homes and our lives. After all, there's no place like home, is there?
So, I don't know what you thought about that. That it took me longer to find the post than it did to make the post. And if you're interested, how did I do all that? One of the things that I want to talk about, let me see if there's chance. I got a nice, can we repost it? Yes, you may. Notice my phone number and contact information isn't in it. I mean, it has my picture, my DRE number and all that sort of stuff, and it says eXp Realty, but I don't put any of my own branding. Personally, I'd rather they not call me. Because, you know, I don't know, I got other things to do. So how was that created? Now, some of it involves not spending any money, and some of it involves spending a little bit of money. That's sort of, you know, maybe something you could debate. So what I use is a program, and I've rewritten it, but I use a program called Copilot. And Copilot is a Microsoft product. If you have Windows 11, you can have it pop up in a sidebar like I have over here. Right now, because I don't have anything else to do, I rewrote this a few times. If you're saying, well, I have a Macintosh and I don't have Windows, and so none of this is going to work for me. First of all, it will work on a cell phone, iPhone or Android, and Microsoft, if you go to copilot.microsoft.com, they'll let you have it for free, right? There it is. So what you would do is, let's say you're in the San Jose area. I tell Copilot, write me a blog post about the current state of the housing market in San Jose, California, include projections for 2024, and I let it rip. Now, what it's using is Bing in the background as a search engine. I prefer Google, but you know, we have to make, and also Google has their own, and you'll see what it's doing. It's cranking out, hey, what's going on in the market in San Jose. You'll find that this would work in very too narrow of a focus. It may not be able to find stuff, but otherwise you can generally find stuff. Now, sometimes it puts in like references, like, but I don't necessarily want them. I don't want it to say Zillow, but what you can see what it's doing, it's basically pulling information from Zillow. It's also giving you some sources. Some of these sources, by the way, are real estate agents. So you don't necessarily want to use the sources, but you can easily delete that, right? And it's got tips for buyers. It's got projections. I wouldn't mind saying Zillow's estimate. Continue. All right, it wants to keep going. No. And then notice it's giving me some other, what are some of the factors that affect the housing market? How does San Jose's housing market compare to other cities? So once it's done this, you would copy it, maybe, edit it a little bit, but you have something that you could post on social media. You could put it on a blog. EXP through KV Core gives you a blog. You get the idea. This is going to save a lot of time. Now, you'll notice that mine had a cool picture, right? A cool picture of a loving couple. This was spring, right? And so what I did is, where's Copilot? Once I've done that, by the way, this is free. There's no upgrade yet that Microsoft is selling. And what I would do is create a picture. that, how about this? I don't know. COULD. This blog post, create a picture. See what you can do. And then Copilot, ooh, it wants me to sign in, which I'm willing to do. And so it's giving me create a picture about the housing market. How about that? Just and what Copilot is going to do is it's going to create a picture. It actually creates 4 pictures. And it sometimes takes longer than others, but you're not going to do it, are you? You're just because, yeah. Oh, there we go. So here's a bunch of pictures about the housing market. And some of them are cloudy and let me get a spring house. I don't like those clouds. Right, too many clouds. See, I could say add flowers, add a graph, add some text. The text doesn't work very well. It tends to misspell words and things like that. And so here we go. Now that's more yeah, so sometimes you have to keep asking. Anyhow, so what I did before, thank you. It's been one of those days, I could tell. So and sometimes I've used these pictures, but if we kept at it, we would find a picture we liked, right? And you might like this one. There's all the, anyhow, you could pick one. It's springtime, I guess. Flowers are in bloom, etc. Wow, I just did this for San Diego. How can the information is accurate? Do we trust it 100%? I'm Brian Doon, wouldn't know my. So first of all, where does it get the information? It tells you where it gets the information. It gets it from Zillow, Redfin, and things like that. It tells you this is where I got it from. And you could go look it up. The other thing is if you simply asked what is, and this is what it originally drew for me, which looks, I think, a lot better, right? There's that picture. There's a variety of them. But anyhow, so it'll give you the sources from where it got the information. You could Google search. What, look at Redfin, look at, they already have information about the market. Jody was, I think, Jody, are you still here? Maybe not. So Jody was traveling and I was talking with an agent and Jody had prepared a estimate as to what the monthly payment would be on an FHA loan where the mortgage insurance premium was paid out in the loan, was rolled into the loan. And I went to Google, and which is Gemini's, that's their artificial intelligence program. I gave it the same numbers and I hit enter, and it came up with exactly the same number that Jody's computer came up with the estimate of the mortgage payment. So it seems to work. It seems to work. Now, the head of Alphabet, the CEO, and Alphabet, of course, is Google and all the related companies, has said that artificial intelligence is going to have more of a profound effect than the learning by humans to control fire or the development of electricity. Bill Gates, now these guys all have, a dog in the fight, as it were. Bill Gates says that artificial intelligence is going to be more profound than the development of the personal computer and the internet. I'm just saying. And one of the things I do want to talk about each week is we're going to go over some ways in which artificial intelligence can make your life easier. Now, I did a class that shows that built into KV Core is ChatGPT. Also, you'll see sometimes when you're logging into EXP's world, something called Luna, and Luna is an artificial intelligence program for giving support. This makes things a lot easier. Now, if I go to Gemini, which is Google's program, and sometimes I admit I will ask ChatGPT, which is backed by Microsoft, a question, but I'll copy the question and then I'll go to Gemini and I'll put the same question in to see, you know, if they have the same answer. Give me, how about this? Draft a real estate market update for Los Angeles, California, with projections about 2024. And I let it go, and it's going to write something also. And if you're thinking, how do I know that Google knows what it's talking about? I would be, really? Really? Google has indexed like every scrap of information that's on the internet. And again, what we're doing here is we're posting things that could be bait, where people will be able to see it and they might call us and ask us questions. I think you're going to find that Google has a pretty fair idea of what's going on. I just think that's true. All right. So when it comes to doing things like that, by the way, I showed this even like almost a year ago, where if you take a listing and you just have an address and you put it into either Gemini, which is Google's product, or ChatGPT is not as up to date. The Copilot, which uses ChatGPT, does a current search, which is why in some cases it's better. It uses Bing, whereas of course Google is using Google. And if you just put in the address of a property and you say, write me a description that I can use on the multiple listing service, it writes a description. Because most of the time, the system already knows how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what's the age of the property, what name. I mean, it knows a lot of that stuff is public information. And it starts cranking out a very nice description. And this is called chat programs, because if you want to revise it, you can revise it. Now, you may be wondering, well, yeah, but that video, how did you get that video? That's a good question. So this requires an upgrade. So right now, Copilot doesn't cost anything. All right, that's the one that I was just using. It's popped up here over on the right-hand side. Gemini, which is Bard, doesn't cost anything. ChatGPT 3.5, and sometimes that you can get into 4, but it doesn't, and I've got one, so it doesn't, you know, I've got an upgrade, but without the upgrade, it'll do a lot. But you see these little icons up here. One of them, these are called plugins. This is a plugin that reads an article, and this is a plugin that will read a PDF, and this is a plugin that will make a video. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you don't, I don't understand why not, but if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I post these videos. All right. I'll give you some examples. And if I go up here and I go to view the channel and I go to videos, first of all, you're going to see California real estate market quarter 4 2023 search, 2024 mortgage rate predictions. So, hi, Jody, how you doing? These are other videos: real estate market forecast, rebound and opportunities, earnings, EXP's commission structure. So all of these videos here were designed by that program that produces the videos, that it comes right out of ChatGPT. So what I do, the way I'm creating these, and this may be more than you wanted to know, but what I do is I simply go to news, or I go through Threads or something like that, and I find a real estate article, right? And what I'm looking for is something that came out quickly. So here's something about how the commercial market is dying, right? A lot of this doubt that here's something that sounds a little more positive. So I click on it and Market Watch pops up. So this sounds a little more positive, but it doesn't seem to have, it won't let me watch. It doesn't want me to see the whole thing because I do it too often. The perfect storm, another sign of distress in Oakland, robocalls, future of real estate. Let me just pick one, just for fun. Commercial real estate market plunge has lenders facing a brutal. So I find a piece of news. And I want to make sure that it's all there. It's not all there. Great. So how about this? Real estate news. Let's just see what we can find. I want somebody who. Bill McBride. Okay. Is he going to let me look at his stuff? So sometimes he wants me to join Substack. Yeah. National Association of Realtors, a friendly source. So I've done several involving the NAR. And what I do is I go there and I find an article. And because I'm doing this a lot, Google will, here, February, this one is what buyers truly need. All right, so let's look at this one. Mortgage rates likely to remain stable after Fed move. All right, so not too bad. A nice little article, right? You might say, oh, I'd like to have an article like that on my blog. I go to ChatGPT and I tell it, and because I'm paying $20 a month and I have access to the plugins, it's going to connect to that article. It's going to rewrite the article. And what is the chat? Thank you. I have an appointment. All right. Everybody's it's okay. I'm enjoying my. So here it's writing a nice little article. Pretty cool. And what it's done is it's rewritten it. By the way, you'll notice if you go to like realtor.org, they post all the articles. Basically, they're giving you a link to some other article that they've rewritten. So it wrote an article, by the way, a blog post. Anybody, if you wanted to post on a blog, how much time do I have? I might spend more time on this in another session. But what I can do once it's done is I can have it make me a video based upon what it just posted, right? What it just wrote. And it'll create, you saw examples of it if you subscribe to my YouTube. They want me to upgrade. They always want you to upgrade. But I've created a blog post based upon the contents of that article. Other things I wanted to cover. So I just, every week, I want to cover a way to use artificial intelligence to make our life easier. Today, what I would like you to take away from this is if you haven't done it, you might want to get Copilot. It's free, works on a phone. And you might want to get Google's Gemini, which used to be called Bard, also has a free phone app. Because it's on my phone, I can ask it questions and it'll give me an answer. I don't have to type it in here. Now, a couple of other resources. All right, so we did that. A couple of other resources. I didn't want to do that.
Michael, can I ask you a quick question about the plugins?
Yeah.
So, this is great, by the way, but the plugins, did you have to add them yourself?
Yeah, you have to pick.
Okay.
So what I do, first of all, I'm paying $20 a month.
Oh, okay, so is that necessary?
Or if you want the plugins.
Okay.
All right. Now they may change that, but you see down here it says plugins. So the choices
Okay.
are ChatGPT 4. they limit you to 40, like within 3 hours. I don't think they follow that. Chat GPT 3 will do everything, but it doesn't have the plugins. Now, if you're saying, well, I don't want to pay $20 a month, how would I do that? Copy and paste the text from the article into it. And in fact, one of
Okay.
the things that I have, let me see if I can find the article. This is also free. Where's the article? Here we go. Here's the article. Is that it? I have a extension which is free that used to be called Mercury Reader. Now it's called Postlight. And if I click on this little icon that looks like
Oh,
a
yeah.
bucket ship, it gets rid of a lot of the stuff. So if I copy that, I also have, I can't do it while I'm in here, but you'll notice over on the right, I don't want this. I got way too much stuff going on. You'll see this little face. You see every
Yeah.
little face. This is a free
Mhm.
plugin from Cloud HQ, which if I go here, it goes away. But if I go back and let me just do it. If I click on this, let's say all right, I'm just going to do it. If I've highlighted stuff on the screen,
Mhm.
what the program will do is it'll move it over into this box and give me choices: summarize, fix grammar, rewrite, bulletize, elaborate. So let's say I just paste in all that information. I go here and I say rewrite. This does not cost anything. And it's
Wow.
rewriting the article. And that little guy hovers wherever I go. It'll check grammar, it'll rewrite, it'll bulletize it. And here's now an article that I could use. So that's called Google for its Chat GPT sidebar by Cloud HQ. And
Wow. Okay. Thank
so
you so much.
Copilot, Gemini, Chat GPT 3 is free, doesn't have all the fancy plugins like the one that made the video, and that it costs something to make the videos. All right, so if you're saying, well, that sounds way too complicated. So how many of you are familiar with the EXP Marketing Center? If not, you should. Let me see, is there more chat? They require just enough anyways any allow any reuse articles and research. Thanks. That's by the way, we're not just copying and pasting NAR and CAR articles. We're not. We're rewriting them, right? We're not we're not doing stealing. We're not plagiarizing. Oh, God forbid. No, we're ripping off and duplicating, right? And it's rewritten and it's a summary. And, and by the way, how many of you spend a lot of money paying the Association of Realtors, right? They're not going to sue you for using their stuff because their stuff, you paid for their stuff. So let's talk about other videos, because videos are nice, aren't they? That one cost money and looked like a pain, and you might have to. So we're going to go into the EXP Marketing Center, and we're going to just scroll down to where we find videos, and we're going to click on Start Designing. Now, there are consumer-facing videos and other video templates, like the video template is something you would use if you have a listing. Let's say, well, I have a listing. I want to get a listing. So we're going to go over here and we're going to click on Choose Design. And it's going to give us a variety of videos. Right? A whole, a bunch of them. And what you would do is click on one of them. And the video pops up. And this is an old picture. So I'm going to click on the picture, I'm going to browse, and I'm going to, what picture do I want to use? I could use a picture of Lawrence Yun. So how about this? How about this one? So it pops up, that's, and then what I would do is, that, okay, save. The picture, by the way, was AI enhanced. And so you need to know what you're going to call it. There's a back, they want you to look at the back, that's what it looks like, it's got my contact information. One thing you want to be sure that you do, whether it's in your website or here, like I don't need all of this stuff, but what is the thing that's missing? Anybody know what's missing from this?
Your DRE number.
My DRE number, very good. DRE number. Now, I know real estate agents post stuff all the time without the DRE number. I get it, but don't anyhow. We can save it. Now, to save it, we're going to need to say this is, I don't know, a buyer video 2, because I've already made another one similar to that. I click on save. Now it's saved it for me, which of course would seem logical. I go to download MP4, and I have to tell it again, it's buyer video 2, and I click download and save. And what it's going to do is it's going to send me an email with the link. So I'm going to go back to my email because I've done this earlier. I may not have been prepared about everything, but I did this, and someplace, let me find the starred, come on, Marketing Center, your video is ready to download. I click here, 6 tips for selling your house. I guess it's a seller video. It's you might want to rename that, but, and we download it. Oh, you get the idea. So that wasn't very difficult, was it? So what I want to do every week is talk about some marketing material that you could use, right? And so this is a nice one. There's a lot of different videos. Now, let me just say this about social media. If all you do is post real estate stuff, right? If you're saying, oh my gosh, Jody's got all this stuff, and Chicago Title has stuff, and EXP has all this stuff, and I'm just going to post real estate stuff 6 times a day, pretty soon no one's going to be following you. This is my opinion, right? And what you want to do is look and see, you need to have a mix. And a mix means you ought to be engaging with other people's posts. And in fact, what you ought to do is find whatever social media you're on, follow the National Association of Realtors, follow the California Association of Realtors, follow your local Association of Realtors. And they're going to post things that you could use too, right? But so social media can also be used for listening. It isn't just a bullhorn. And if you don't mix it up with things that are not real estate specific, people are going to get tired of it. That's my opinion. And you need to look when you post something, are people engaging with it? Are people liking it? Are they commenting? Are they sharing it? Or are you just auto posting stuff, right? And so the social media is oftentimes more effective in following up with people you already know than it is with you getting to know more people. Don't just do nothing but real estate. But you can see EXP there's a whole bunch of these. And if you've never done it, that wasn't very difficult. You didn't have to write anything. You didn't have to do Chat GPT. It makes a nice little video, but you want to mix it up with some other things. What else do I want to do? Any questions about that? There's so much, so much. Any questions? Next week, since I'm not hearing a bunch of them, I think Jody's going to do a more involved presentation on lending, probably on Tuesday. And then next Thursday, what I am thinking about doing is how to send a video through KV Core. And if you're not into KV Core, how to send it through Gmail, and how to create a video that you could send to clients that maybe has like a market update. Like, why not make a market update where you're talking about what's going on in the market that you could send to people, right? The video should be short, but you can already guess how we're going to write it. You probably can already guess. And if you have a webcam, you could use a phone to do it. All of you have video equipment, which you carry around with you all the time. And we'll talk about how to do that and how to create a video and send it out in an email to people. Anything else?
Yeah, Michael, where can I find your workplace?
On Workplace, what is my name? So it's called the Michael Devlin Group.
Is it under, oh, eXp Realty Workplace? Okay.
Right. Workplace is an EXP thing. Let me do one other thing while we're doing this, right? And I put this in the Workplace group, but if you can't find the Workplace group, it's going to be, a problem. This is a program I use. It's an extension called Speed Dial 2. And I like it because it has a web interface, which means on my phone, it has all my bookmarks. You can see all these different things across the top. And if I click on EXP, yeah, there are a lot of marks. But one of the things that I find useful is something called myexprealty.com, which works really well on a phone. And when you go to My eXp Realty and you've logged in, one of the things they have are quick links. And the quick links give you a bunch of programs, links to a bunch of different things that eXp has. And if you go over here to tools, there's our production leaderboard. And this one is where you can access all of eXp apps. There they are. This works really easy on a phone. So you should have on your phone 2 workplace related apps. One is chat, workplace chat, and the other one is just workplace. Now you can chat in the workplace app. You don't have to just chat in the chat version. If my phone thing was working, I would show you, but you would go, there's workplace. So you'd want to download on your phone workplace and workplace chat. And notice this has like all of the major sites, and I could add others, but and you can move them around, right? If if you want to. But that's an easy way. myexprealty.com. It's an app on the phone. You log in, and it'll then take you to Workplace. And Workplace is where you'll find referrals. You'll find agents saying, hey, I'm looking for somebody in the Bay Area that can do an open house. And I have a group called the Michael Devlin Group. And I post things that you can repost. Like this one I'm going to get rid of because I found the good one. But yeah, I know. But I found the other one. Here are the links, the different things we went over today, and some things we didn't get to. One final thing. Can I do one more thing before we're gone?
Sure.
Sure. And I was sharing this with Kit this morning, but eXp has an arrangement with a company called Curbio. And what Curbio does, you might hear that oh, Compass, you know, everybody likes Compass because they have this, in Coldwell Banker, they have this concierge service where they'll fix up things, you know, do upgrades and then bill escrow. Yeah, so do we, right? And it's called Curbio. And there's a link to it here. And if you go to Curbio and notice there's visit the workplace group, you could request an estimate. Again, they bill escrow. So you can get a house updated prior to that. And if you go to the website, you can fill out the form to get an estimate. If you scroll down, you're going to see someplace EXP agent marketing materials, really. And if you click on this, it's going to give you social media templates, postcards, a listing toolkit, case studies, printable seller resources, videos, training sessions. So what I know there's a lot of stuff. And we could be a real estate company that doesn't have anything. You could find somebody that's even cheaper than EXP to work at. It's hard because of the cloud-based system. Our overhead is much lower, but they don't do anything, right? And it's sometimes a race to the bottom. You'll do more business if you learn the tools and systems that EXP is giving you. And you know what I have to wince when somebody says, well, no, I didn't get the listing because they're going with Coldwell Banker, because Coldwell Banker says they can get things fixed before escrow, and I didn't, so I just lost. Well, why didn't you mention Curbio? What do you mean Curbio? We have the same thing. Oh, really? Well, I didn't know. Right? Well, I don't want to hear that. And so you'll notice that even on the schedule, there's information about our different partners. So if you were to go to the market listing toolkit, which I don't know, my computer is getting tired of opening of things, but you can see here are some samples of what it looks like. Right, postcards, the social media templates, right? Oh no, something else to post. Building case studies, printable seller resources. Here we go. A seller guide, Curbio versus options for the seller. Why choose Curbio? Agent resources, Curbio videos. All that stuff. All right. All right, that's enough. I could keep going. You get the sense I could keep going. We can keep going. Every week, what I want to do is discuss some specific marketing things you could do. And by the way, if you're brand new, the first thing you're going to want to do is get together a list of all the people you know. 40% of real estate transactions come from people you know or people they know. And if you're saying, well, I don't have a KV Core website and I'm not good with technology, whatever. I know a guy, I met him back in Keller Williams days, who's now at EXP. And my ranking, by the way, in EXP in terms of what's called attraction, I'm like 300 and something. And he's number 3, right? Number 3 in EXP. And he was number 1 in Keller Williams. And what he does is he carries around a piece of paper, bunch of pieces of paper, which he folds up and puts into his pocket. And in the piece of paper, he's written out names and phone numbers of people that are prospects. And whenever he has a few minutes, he calls them and talks to them and writes down notes on the piece of paper. He's ranked 3rd in EXP and was ranked number 1 at Keller Williams. And and if you ever see him do a presentation, he's doing it with paper. He calls it his napkin presentations. He does it with paper and a pen. Doesn't use PowerPoint, right? So I don't want to hear that technology is what's keeping you from being able to sell real estate, right? Or I don't want to hear that, right? So the thing is, you want to get together a list of people that you know and you want to talk to them. I have scripts and things like that on the workplace channel. In the initial documents I sent you when I was signing you up, there's a list of all of our scripts and things like that. You just need to talk to somebody and find somebody who wants to do something and then call us and we'll help you with that. Aisha, do you have a question?
Yes, I just want to make a comment. I'm on the Nextdoor app and I don't really care for Nextdoor. However, I discovered that I accumulated a vast amount of contacts, quote unquote, friends on Nextdoor who were, vendors, carpenters, a whole slew of vendors and people. So to me, that started out my list, besides family and friends. And I have like maybe 100 people listed so far. So to me, it was like a nice surprise.
Cool. And I don't know if Kit is still on the thing today. Is he still there? If he isn't, I can talk about him. But I met with him earlier today, 8 o'clock, for those of you that don't get up early. And he was watching my videos about talking to vendors. And I have a video called How to Be a Great Networker. It includes a 90 days to networking greatness. And I talk about meeting with other professionals. And I'll just tell you that out of every 100 agents I coach and train and onboard, one out of the 100 actually follows the system. One, maybe, just one. And there may be several of them on tonight, so you're probably the one if you think it. But what I talk about are the core group of professionals that you need. One of them is a financial planner. So he went out and started talking to financial planners. And he met one. You don't need them all. You just need a couple that you can work with. He met one, they get along, and she sent him 2 listing leads. 2 people that have to sell their house. How would she know? She's a financial planner. She knows they have to sell the house, 2 of them. So the groups that you ought to be focusing on is all the people you know, but then there's a list. I have a list, right? If you find my working with vendor videos, I have a list. But you want to necessarily go through that list and find people that are in related business to ours that we might need. You might need a financial planner to talk to a client because you're not probably qualified to give investment advice, and they are. Right? So you ought to, we already have a great loan agent, but you need a financial planner, you're gonna need a window washer, you're gonna need a house painter, you're gonna need people that remove garbage, you're gonna need flooring contractors, you're gonna need, and put together that list and make friends. And I go watch the video. It's not a complicated thing, but there's some things that you need to pay attention to. Right, when you're recruiting people, don't just use other agents' referrals. It's not just about finding the best house painter. It's about finding the best house painter that will refer business to us. So, you understand? That's the, All right, I have to stop now. Next week, Jody's going to be on for Tuesday. She's still here, so she has only 1 minute left to say no. Next Thursday, we're going to have another team meeting and we're going to talk about other things that you can do using EXP and other things you've already paid for to produce marketing materials. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you for everything,
Thank
Michael.
you.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
So Elena, did you want to
Hi, yes.
or do you want to ask?
What?